balance sheet sort of pre-printed so that you can take the numbers from the illustration and move them over to this. We're hoping in version 3 or 4 or 10 of the illustration system will have that built in, but you know, those things take a little time. I see Lyndon in the back chuckling at that. So we've got a C corporation. It's got $50,000 pre-tax money waiting to be put to use in this plan. Here we've got an insured who's a female, age 50, as in all illustrations we're showing preferred in these things. And we're looking at a death benefit of about $1.7 million. So 50,000. The policy was going to say you're going to own your own policy. So you're in control. You can access the money. We're going to have the business pay the premium. Now we had 50,000, but we're sitting at a 21% bracket, right? So we're going to use the after-tax amount. We have to send a little bit up to the IRS. That's part of the deal. We're going to have that $39,500 go over to pay the premium on the policy. And that amount may go up or down each year depending on the cash flow of the company. The nice part about IUL is that within reason you can increase or decrease the total premium going in. Although I'd prefer you to increase it rather than decrease it. In year 1, this is year 1, we've got the $1.7 million in death benefit. At this point there's really no cash surrender value. There is an assignment that's gone back to the business. Right? Interest is due, and that's $1,185 based on the, I think it was a 3% interest rate that we used. So her business is going to send $249 to the IRS, and we're going to have about $936 of interest. Now remember, she could have accrued this, or if the business says to her, you know, we're having a good year, don't really need you to pay the interest back, we're going to forgive the interest. What happens to that?
Oh, pretty good.
Good job. Love it. All right. Now, there is a receivable sitting on the business balance sheet, right? $39,500. That's why we tell people this is a stable balance sheet deal. I wrote a check for $39,500, but I'm immediately booking $39,500 to cover or to reflect the loan. So for companies that need bonding or have bank loans outstanding, Split Dollar is very stable as far as the balance sheet. Let's jump to year 5. $1.7 million of death benefit. We've got about $141,000, $142,000 cash value. Premium is paid by the business again. It just works the same every year, but you'll notice that the total interest is about $5,000. Pretty simple. We've now had 5 years worth of loans, so the interest has been going up to reflect the 5 years worth of loans. And of course, the receivable has increased. Receivable is simply the total amount of premium that's been paid. If you're accruing the interest, that's going to get added to the receivable. Okay. Let's get to year 15. Here's where I think some conversation with the client is always necessary. We're now up to about $17,000 of interest. This is usually where we see the interest forgiven. When you get into the later years and it's the owner of the business, they go, I don't want to write a check to myself for 17. I don't mind 1,000, but 17 is starting to get to be a real check. And so they could forgive that interest, and as you all said just a couple of minutes ago, that would be includable in income.
Ellen, why not just pay the tax on the interest each year and just have it approved that way?
You certainly can.
The number is minuscule that way, and it affects it so much less.
It's the challenge with Howie with accruing the interest is that you just have to make sure that you're comfortable with pushing back the rollout a little later, because it will increase the repayment. But you're right, and it's going to make sense to do that on occasion. Okay, so we're in year 15. Got $592,000 of receivables. We've seen about $112,000 of cash added to the business balance sheet through the repayment of the interest. If I add the two together, which is probably not really what's happening, but if I added the two together, we have about, at the end of the deal, when I roll this plan out and pay the business back, about $704,000 in cash. we showed it this way for a reason. What am I gonna do with that 704,000? This is where the CPA says, I told you, you now have to take it out, it's gonna cost you more. Well, if I take that 704,000 and change out, pay my tax on it, I'm gonna have in my pocket 563,000 on an after-tax basis.
Based on 21%.
Say that again?
Based on the price of?
No, that's 37%.
37% of 704 is.
So what let me finish. So what we're gonna do with that cash, that after-tax cash that our client had, let's consider what happened when we rolled it out, when we paid the loan back. Where did we get the money to pay the loan back to the business? The policy cash value. Probably borrowed it from the cash value, took it out, sent it to the business.
Correct.
Have the business send that money back along with the accrued interest that they've gotten over the years. And what if we say to the owner of the policy, this policy is performing so well, we want to put the money back into the policy. You could go buy a mutual fund, you could go buy a nice fancy house, but what if you paid the money back? Or what if you just never took the money out to begin with? What if, just to show it technically to the accountants, you took the money out, well, hello, you went from 569 down to 191 when you paid the money back. But now I've got another, that 500-some thousand back. I'm gonna pay it back right in here. So I flip to this side. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? I took it out, put it back. The reality is most people don't take it out and put it back, they just never take it out. They forgive the loan. They forgive the loan. They say, all right, we've gotten to the end of the deal. I owe my business $500-and-some thousand. I'm going to forgive repayment. When you do that, it's taxable income just the same way you got here. That way you don't have to do money in, money out of the policy. You're going to end up in the same tax